Next up is looks to be a mid-60s Gibson Skylark. It says 3-prong cord, bad hum, caps. I think he's probably absolutely correct. Let's see. It has one of those gloriously crappy little 2-prong power cables. Not for long. Let's get the rear cover off. Okay, these rear panel screws have these little cup washers. Only one came out. So let me fish the others out so I don't forget them, because they'll fall on the floor somewhere and get lost. That one's embedded pretty well. That one's already missing. That one comes off. Put that carefully to the side on the screw. Alright, good. This one's coming out now. Alright. I like having these out of the rear panel. Otherwise they will fall out when I'm carrying it across the room or something. Alright. Why does it not want to come out? There's no other screws. I think it's just remembering where it needs to be. Oh, wait. Is the chassis attached to this? Can't be. No, it's just gotta... Well, it's acting like it's attached to it. That's weird. Let me see what I can find. Alright, we're going in. Son of a bitch. They have 2 screws and nuts there that hold the rear panel to the chassis. So I've got to reach my hand in this little bitty gap and back those nuts off to get the rear panel off. Way to go, Gibson. That makes a lot of sense. Well, after fitting my really large hands into this tiny little space, which including trying to work my fingers holding one end of a wrench through this gap between the panel and this very magnetic Alnica. It's a 3/8, by the way, if you have one of these to work on. 3/8 inch wrench. Eventually got them loose enough where I can do them by hand and get them out. At which point, is there another one? Some of them. Okay, no, it's just an angle thing. All right, so these are the evil ones in question. They go in here. All right. Now that my hands feel all chewed up, let's see what other horrors await. Okay, it's one of those. So at this point, the whole chassis will slide out the front. But before I can do that, I need to disconnect the speaker, because it doesn't have a speaker cable, of course. It goes straight. Oh, and here's a neat thing. I'll show you this. Well, I hit the button on my camera wrong, and I thought I was recording when I wasn't. I'm not going to reconnect this, but this one was in there. Let me turn off the autofocus, or turn on autofocus. This one was in there, kind of partially wrapped around the post, but whatever solder was on there broke a long time ago, so it was just vibrating and really flimsy. Would have been great to show you, but I hit the wrong button, because I'm awesome. I am beginning to really loathe this amp, because the way it was designed, the chassis has to slide out. It can only slide out from the front, but because it has these transformers, it cannot slide out at all when the baffle's installed. So to get the chassis out, you have to uninstall the baffle. Now, it's only 4 nuts and screws, and I happen to know that they use 3/8, so be it. But Jesus, imagine you're on a gig and you need to change a tube or a fuse. There's a reason they say a Gibson is only good enough. Well, I'm a little puzzled. I need to research and see when the 225p series orange drops came to the market, because everything in the amp, aside from this possible electrical tape here, aside from possibly this electrical tape, seems to be original. It's got all the original electrolytics, but it has all of these orange drops, 225p series, but they all seem to have solder joints that look quite factory. I don't see any sign of rework, so either someone very, very carefully, methodically changed out all these caps for 225Ps, but at the same time left all the old electrolytics, or this amp came with 225Ps and they're just a little bit, they've been on the market a little bit longer than I realized. So that's actually good either way, because these are unlikely to be bad. This one's likely to be problematic, but not necessarily. And these electrolytics definitely need to get changed. Let's see, the tubes that came with, 2 RCA, let me get this to focus, 2 RCA, and these say 6 AQ5As, a GE 6 X4 WA, that's a rectifier, and 6 EU7, both of them RCAs. So hopefully all these tubes are good. The amp, other than some dust, which is typical of these shelf style chassis, it's in really good shape. It's a very simple circuit aside from changing out the electrolytics and maybe some of these old carbon comps, especially if, this is a cathode bias, so that'd be the resistor, that'd be the cap, they're in parallel with each other. This resistor value may need to change due to modern wall voltage, so I will find out more. First I need to go through here and make a list of which electrolytics it needs, because that's the starting point, electrolytics and a grounded power cable.